Welcome to my channel. Welcome back to Oscar Overlander. The topic of today will be the stair. I have done the stair, not completely done, but I will show you how far I am and how I did it. This thing is now obsolete. No more temporary stair because... So before we get on with the video, I like to give a shout out to a person who commented below the video, the last video. And I'm talking about the middle-aged traveler TMAT 562. He left me a comment which I found very interesting. Thank you for that. It gives me quite a few ideas for another video. So I want to read his comment quick. Oscar, I have been watching your videos from the start as I would also like to build my own expedition vehicle soon. If I read comments like that, that makes me so happy you won't believe it, because if I get the feeling that I can encourage people to do the same thing or a similar thing, it makes me super happy. Just that as a side note. So I have some questions and maybe you can make some videos for them. First, what is your background that you are able to build like this? Second, what tools are necessary and their cost? Third, when you made the body panels, why was expansion such an issue and why don't we see that on other videos and expedition tracks? Is it because you used steel instead of aluminum? Thanks and keep up the good work. So I like to take these three questions basically a little bit apart. So number one was, what is your background that you are able to build this? Here I like to introduce all of you to the membership area. I have set up last weekend a membership area. You can be a member of this channel, and my plan is to share a lot of information there, like down to detail information. And so I mean links for products, for services, for base trucks, for trucks like ready done trucks. I will set up live chats so we can talk with each other, asking questions and recommendations, as well as priority lane. So in traffic, you are in the priority lane to get answers on your questions or comments. So that's what I'm offering beside those badges and emojis, right? But it is all about exchanging information. And then I receive so many emails from people, they asking for help or my advice kind of thing, I like to funnel all this into a kind of membership area to narrow this down to kind of an exchange between all of us. They are really interested in it, of information. If you want to know something about me as a person kind of thing, as far I want to tell things, you will be able to hear that or see that in the membership area. The second question was about what tools are necessary and their cost. I will make a video specifically about the tools and maybe their cost. Today we're going to fabricate this stair. What we do, or what I do, is have two steps here. One coming down 250 millimeter, forward coming down another 250 millimeter. The body edge at the bottom point will have the same measurements as my storage boxes, which I show you in a moment, on my truck on the subframe. So yeah, two steps going down with closed sides, closed back, closed side on the right side. So just the front is open, of course. So and the tricky part is basically the distance from the front of the habitat to the front of the stair, which is that flange then, has to be a very precise measurement. Having the stair in the right position is crucial. because the stair will be welded on to the structure of the habitat, so it's a part of the habitat. So imagine the habitat comes down, and the stair body has to fit in between these two arms, the one here and the one here. It has to fit right in there. But I want to keep the stair also as wide as possible. So I make it really tight between the arms, right? Maybe maximum an 1/8 gap on each side, maximum. Why do I want to keep the stair as wide as possible? Because then as bigger my entrance is, desto more comfortable is it to get in and out. So that's one thing. Second, if it is attached to the body of the habitat, then it is really important to have the measurement from here, from the front of the stair to the front of the habitat. Absolute correct, because I have planned the habitat front to the cab, the driving cab, 100 millimeter equals 4 inches, and that's also spec'd by Mercedes Benz. Whatever you build in the back, you should stay 100 millimeter, 4 inches back from the cab, because the cab has to have enough space to tilt. So if you want to tilt it, if you want to tilt this thing, it has to have 100 millimeter clearance to not hit the habitat and don't be able to tilt forward, right? So that's because you can imagine that flap is coming further this way when it tilts. And what I said before, you have 2 steps going down, and the underside of the stairs will match the bottom line of the storage boxes. So, and here is my material. Black steel, 1/8 plates. I have them according to my sketches. I have them pre-cut, but I realized already when I measured the width between the arms on the truck, I have to recut them a little bit to make them precisely to the width of the arm width. You know, 1/8 black steel, maybe, hang on, so like that. You see, I can bend it. It's steel. It may appear not really very thick, but if I weld it onto the next one, then it stabilizes the whole corpus, let's say, and it gets really stable afterwards. I will show you the progress as I go. So you can visualize what I'm going to do is basically, right, the first drop down, the first step, drop down, step, and there is a front piece, because I'm filling this in with insulation and then with plywood on top of it. Insulation, plywood on top of it, because this entrance box needs to be insulated as well. Almost, yes. Yeah, so I really recommend these magnets, the welding magnets they call. They're excellent helpers. Just tuck it on there, and they hold the second piece right in 90 degree. That's excellent. So, and then I tack weld it. Now I have tack welded it from one side. I will do the middle as well. And welders will know you cannot weld it all the way through, because when it cools down, it shrinks together and pulls you this way. So it's not 90 degree anymore. So you have to, when you have tack welded one side, you have to turn it around and tack weld from the other side, so that when you weld from the inside, then it cannot be pulled back. Very important. So that's good enough for now. From that side, double checking, 90 degree, perfect. Now I have welded, I do on the inside a continuous weld, so that I have it closed, basically that's watertight, because behind the stair there's the splash area from the street, you know, like splash water from the road coming up against that. and I don't want any water coming through here. That's why I'm welding those beads continuous but very small. So this is that. Now I have welded this, oh, that's still hot, this J kind of shape, as you can see. That's the very bottom, the bottom part. The first riser. Here's the second one, and the second riser, which is then up on the, oh, you can't see that. Let me raise you up. So this is the second riser, and then here basically inch higher will be the surface from the interior of the habitat, the flooring. I need to hold this in the right position and then weld it. But I'm not a fully set up mechanical welding shop or whatever, so therefore I'm using my motorcycle stand. The good thing on that one is I can adjust the height by just spinning this. Now I'm welding this together, and I have to make sure that this is 90 degrees, the same as this is and this is. Okay. Okay, so this won't hold. I have to adjust that now to 90 degrees. Yeah, it has to go down. So let's see what it does. It is going down. So, oh, that guy has done his work. Yeah, it needs to go down. Oh, came down now. Hey, good. Good. Secure it. Hello. Ooh! My clamp is burning! My clamp is burning! This should be an inch. Exactement. Nice. Flush. Good. That was an easy task, so now I have to weld the second sidewall on. Now, I cleaned it all up, and so far done. Everything is welded completely all the way. It's all fish tanked basically. The side legs, these here, they're basically kind of useless. So I'm probably going to go to cut them off like that. So what I'm doing now is I'm measuring the height precisely on the habitat, and then I find out where I can drill holes here along the top edge. So just to get a little bit more welding onto this framing, I will drill some bigger holes in here and weld those on as well. So I don't have just the top edge, so it's not holded at the top, so also along the way on the 3-inch flange I have available on the habitat. So I drilled the holes. There are 3 in the back and each one on the sides, as you can see there. And I cleaned this whole thing with alcohol. So now I let it sit for 2 minutes, and then I will apply the first coat, which is a primer. Now I have 2 coats of primer on it with a spray bomb primer. inside and out, more on the outside, because this is the side which is exposed to the splash water and also to the elements. As next, I will paint it with chassis saver. Now I have applied the chassis saver. That's from the back. The whole box is upside down now. Inside doesn't have to be completely coated because it is completely primed. And then later I will glue on the insulation and stuff, so this is not really necessary to have chassis saver on the inside of the stair. So now I let this dry. I just painted it, I let it dry, and then I will apply a vehicle undercoat layer on the backside of it. Looks like a mess, but that is exactly what we want. What this does is, on the metal, you can, dirt can pack up on it layer by layer and gets really heavy. But on this movable rubberized stuff, the dirt won't hold on it. On a bigger impact, it will fall off. And that's why they're applying the same material into wheelbases. Good. That was good. Careful, Charlie. So now on this wood, set it in there. So now a little to you. And tight, too tight. We may have to go in from underneath like this. Okay. It's a little tighter at the front, so like that. Then dive, then go in there. And now set it on the wood. Excellent, excellent. That's it. I play with the rest myself. It's pretty hot there, it was in the sun. Oh, it's really hot. Yeah. Okay, awesome. Nicely. And in it is. For now it's just tuck welded. There's one tuck weld here, one over here, and one there. So it is, my son helped me quick lifting it in place and adjusting it to where it needs to be. Everything is welded all the way around. I decided to cut this lip in the back a little shorter. It was difficult to get to it, that's why it's a little wavy. Also the welding bead a little wavy, but the 3 holes doing their job. I welded all the way around, so that's perfect. As I said at the beginning, it's 1/8 material, but look at this now. This is rock solid. Now I have grinded the welding beads back a little and primed them again. And I have already glued down the first sheet of insulation, 2-inch. Today, a new day. So I'm about to glue on the last stair thread. Yeah, the glue is applied. I just will put the plate basically in place. This is my staircase, as you see here. What I'm planning to do is, there is a stair trim, it goes over, and then had a little bull nose, and then underneath there's a plastic strip in it, like a cover, and a little pocket for an LED light. So I will go to install a LED light around that kind of U-shape edge, or C-shape, let's say, and on that thread as well, just the width of it. So the box is attached underneath. As you can see from the back, there is the undercoating, kind of coarse, rough. Now you can spot it. All right. The front has been raised now, this metal. I doubled the metal up all the way to the top, and then the door trim will cover the edge of it. And the good thing is, from here, from the first step top surface to the underside here, which is again the underside of the storage boxes as well, there is a 240 millimeters, so 10 millimeter lower is already the next step height. So I was basically planning to put a fancy stair underneath, like maybe even electrical, kind of, like you have a switch on the door somewhere and then the stair folds out, and I had all sorts of ideas, but honestly, it's not even necessary. I need 2 or 3 steps. I don't know yet, because it depends on the suspension sag when I put this big habitat on top of the subframe or on the truck, right? So my suspensions, they will sag, they will lower, and then it gives me a clear idea how many steps I need to reach the ground, right? So 2 for sure, maybe 3. But the good thing is I have these 2 steps here, or let's say 1, 2, 3, and I'm in, you know, and then here is the 4th, basically, just 10 millimeter below that edge. So that gave me basically the idea, if I weld on some sort of a pipe, so I can slide a aluminum stair in there, like a 2-step or 3-step foldable ladder. I can manually do it. I don't need to invest $1,200 or something for a electrical stair. You know, it's not even necessary. So the storage box there has some space in it on the left side. You know, I can, if I can make it fit into the storage box, that would be perfect. I just have a foldable stair somehow. I have to come up with an idea. Foldable stair, which I stick into these welded on pipes at the bottom, you know, and secure maybe with a kind of click-in bolt or something. So that, but this is another topic. But I will have a really cost-effective solution for my get into the habitat. You know, for us was it really important to have a lowered entrance because of, yeah, let's call it knee problems and stuff like that, you know. So, and therefore we have already 3 steps to go towards the ground within the habitat, and then we need 2 or maximum 3 more steps on the outside. So that is the reason why we have a lowered entrance. Yeah, so this is what it looks like now. And like I said, or like I will explain, there's the door trim going from here down here and then onto the metal. This is already glued in, the riser is glued in. It's all ready for receiving basically the finished flooring. Yeah, I added a piece of a strip in here. I glued that in, you can see the smear here. You know, that's the 221, Zika 221. It's a crazy glue. I had a little foam underneath, you see it there, just to fill the gap. And then glue, and then a strip of wood in between. And that one is bolted, or not bolted through, but there's screws going through, you know, all the way into the finished floor. So that will not sink down or something. Because I'm going to install a step corner cover, which has a LED strip in the bottom. So whenever you open the door, this C shape will light up, and also this thread will be lit up, you know, like with an LED. And therefore I have already this conduit in there, a small conduit, you know, fed through the hole there. It was an easy task. So this is bringing in the cable for the stair light. So this is it for me this week. Right now is next, I'm working on all the trims around the perimeter on the box, all the edges of the box. I'm trimming them right now. I'm waiting for the door trim. I will weld this up next week and glue it in, and then I will be able to finish the sides. So therefore stay tuned, and we see us next week, Friday.